Greetings and welcome back to room 303 in our Chats with Emily, as we are calling our readings through the poetry of Emily Dickinson. We are in the Johnson edition, and we turn now to poem 388, Take Your Heaven Further On. Now, if you already can kind of hear the tone of voice in this poem, you're already on to something, and that will be provocative for us. We are back to poems 271, 325, 365, and Emily's identification with white, the color white, and more particularly the fact that there's a moment in her biography when apparently she starts wearing white dress for the rest of her life as the, can we just say recluse and understand what we mean, as one who is withdrawing increasingly from public affairs as she is living more and more in her father's house. Now, some have seen this as another rejection poem. That is to say, Emily is rejecting or saying, I am not interested in the heaven that you are wanting to talk with me about. Heaven is often, of course, analogous in Emily's poetry for love. This, I think, may have something to do with Sam Boyles. Now, Sam Boyles has been in Europe, and he has recently returned when she will write this poem. However, Sam said in a letter to Emily's brother Austin in 1863, quote, to the Queen Recluse, my especial sympathy that she has overcome the world. And he put it in quotation marks, of course, referencing that 1 John 5, 4 through 5 passage from the Bible about overcoming the world. Now, our assumption is that you've been following our stuff at learnstrong.net, down that left-hand side, Chats with Emily. I'm hopeful that you've worked through our set of introductory comments. We mentioned, of course, the importance of Sam Boyles there. And as well, I'm hopeful that you've read the preceding 387 poems. We just finished with 387, The Sweetest Heresy. And if you have, then you know that Emily has at times struggled with this tension between being accepted by others and rejecting any comers who would maybe try to get involved in her life. There is a tension there. Now, Sewell, the great biographer, will point out that the tone is almost strident, is his word, in this study. But it isn't clear, Sewell argues, who exactly it is she's saying, talk to the hand, if you will, all right? Now, it is true that Emily did refuse to see Sam Boyles sometime around the fall of 1862 and beyond, after his return from Europe, as we've said. And some have seen in this poem Emily's somehow alluding to or referencing Beatrice and Dante as the inspirer for Dante of the Divine Comedy. This is how she says it. Take your heaven further on, this to heaven divine has gone. Had you earlier blundered in, possibly, even you'd seen an eternity. Put on now to ring a door beyond is the utmost of your hand. To the skies, apologize, nearer to your courtesies than this sufferer polite, dressed to meet you, see, in white. By the way, notice, white, exclamation point, yes? Now, first of all, heaven could be understood as love. Take your heaven further on means I'm not interested in the heaven that you're offering to me. Again, who the antecedent to the pronoun you is, you're here, we don't know. We'll qualify it as possibly Sam Boyles. Then she'll say it. I'm not interested in your heaven. This, and then she'll say it, to heaven divine has gone. Now, what's the antecedent to the pronoun this? Is she talking about herself? That is to say, I've already made my decision. Notice has is capitalized. Had you, then she'll say it, earlier blundered in. Blundered gets used one and only one time in all of her poetry, and it's here. In other words, if you had blundered, accidentally stumbled in, if you will, blundered in, possibly in you had seen an eternity, that is to say, from heaven to eternity. Is this the moment where Emily is saying, it's over, it's done, put on? In other words, I've made my decision, I've put on eternity. I've made the decision that will be best referenced by the color white for her, right? And then she'll say it, now, to ring a door beyond. Is she talking about the Evergreens, the next door where Austin and Sue will be living? It isn't clear. Now, to ring a door beyond is the utmost of your hand. It's all you can do. Notice, in other words, I'm not going to take your hand, whatever that means. To the skies, apologize. In other words, whatever it is that you're offering to me, I'm no longer interested in that, and you can apologize to the skies for it. Or I'll apologize. Nearer to your courtesies than this sufferer. That's a significant word in this poem, I think. And it's, now we're back to the theodicy question. Why must there be pain and suffering? Dressed to meet you, see, in white. Excuse me. Now, when we get to poem 528, we'll come back to this poem. Mine, by the right of the white election. Mine, by the royal sea. Mine, by the sign in the scarlet prison bars cannot conceal. Mine here in vision and in veto. Mine by the grave's repel. Titled, confirmed, delirious charter. Mine, long as ages steal. What is she saying at 2a in this poem? I think her argument is that sacrifice is necessary for the creative genius. I think that's the point she's trying to make. I have made my choice. I am going to pursue my poetic project. At 2b, of course, it isn't clear the antecedent of the pronoun you. Is it Sam? Is it Sue? Is it somebody else? We just don't know. At 3a, well, she'll say in poem 772, all is the price of all. And I think in this poem, she's trying to demonstrate what that looks like. If I had to own a poem like this at 3b, what was a time when you sacrificed so much heaven for another heaven? And was it worth it? I hope Emily's challenging you. Thank you.